right now on 5 on your side at 10.
After a couple of hard freezes the last 2 mornings, the chilly pattern eases a bit. We are tracking our next good chance of widespread rain and if it impacts your weekend plans.
A grieving mother remembers her 14-year-old son stabbed to death near his school.
I keep wanting to wake up and say that this is just a horrible dream. And
her message for her son's killer as the community comes out to honor the teen. First tonight, the results are coming in from the Illinois primary. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. With the presidential nominations virtually locked up, all eyes tonight are on one of the most hotly contested congressional races. The 12th congressional district covers a large swath of southern Illinois, including parts of Madison County, all of St. Clair, Monroe, and Jefferson counties.
Republican Mike Bost has held this seat since 2015 and is seeking a 6th term. Just minutes ago, he declared victory over his GOP challenger, former state senator Darren Bailey, who made a long shot bid for governor in 2022.
Now, Bost or Darren Bailey will face the winner of tonight's Democrat primary in November. Right now, Carbondale attorney Brian Roberts has a substantial lead over Preston Nelson, a libertarian.
Tonight, 5 on your side sent crews throughout southern Illinois to Jackson and Clay counties to cover the GOP race. Both candidates just addressed their supporters. Robert Townsend is with the Bailey campaign in Louisville, Illinois. But let's start tonight with Laura Barczewski, who's in Murfreesboro with the Bost campaign. Laura.
Mike, he just got off the stage and he is very excited. He did declare victory and says he will be serving voters of southern Illinois for the next couple years as long as he makes that general election. He says he's confident that he will get those votes as well, and he believes in his voters here in southern Illinois. Now, family and friends have been piling in this little small town bar in Murfreesboro to support him. It's been a really good day of them all coming in and talking about how they support him so much. He's served the 12th congressional district since 2015, and the way the votes split the district was very interesting. Bost getting the western part, his opponent Darren Bailey taking over the eastern side, and Bost says he wants to continue to focus on agriculture, health care, securing the border. In this race, he's had some pretty big endorsements, including former President Donald Trump and the NRA. He's even touted his experience in Washington as a selling point, and he wants to unite the people in Washington.
We as Republicans across the Illinois 12th and across this nation as these different primaries play out have to unite, work together, because if we're going to turn this ship of state in the right direction, we have to take a larger majority in the House, we have to take the Senate, and we need a president to guide us from that Republican Party.
Just in the heels of Bost speaking.
Bost says he hopes that this will swing in the Republicans' favor during the general election, and he's really hoping this will pull out for him, as he says he really wants to continue to serve southern Illinois. Now let's send it over to Robert Townsend, who is at Darren Bailey's camp.
Hey there, Laura. You know, Darren Bailey and his supporters had hoped to celebrate a big victory tonight, but just minutes ago, Bailey conceded to Mike Bost, and he told this crowd, quote, "We came up short tonight, but we will fight again in the future." Right now he is going around this crowd hugging and shaking hands and thanking all of his supporters who supported him all evening. Darren Bailey, his wife Cindy, their family, and about 100 supporters actually gathered here at the Full Armor Christian Academy School for tonight's watch party. They tracked the primary race on their cell phones and on 2 big screens in this gym. But again, they came up short, saying that they really wanted this, but the former state lawmaker and farmer said he was not deterred by not having a government job or the fact that former President Donald Trump did not endorse him in the primary race for Illinois' 12th congressional district. A confident Bailey told me this afternoon that had he won this race, securing the nation's border, creating more jobs for American workers, and tackling economic issues would have been his top priorities. You also remember in 2022, Bailey lost a bid for governor to Democratic incumbent J.B. Pritzker. Back here live, though, he is now again circling this crowd, shaking hands, hugging a lot of the kids here in this crowd, and we hope to get a live interview with him. If not before this newscast is over, we'll definitely have it for you in the morning. Live in Louisville, I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
In the Illinois 13th Congressional District, incumbent Nikki Budzinski is unopposed in the Democratic primary. The district includes parts of St. Clair and Madison counties, snaking up through Springfield and Champaign.
Now, Budzinski will be challenged in November by the winner of tonight's Republican primary. That's law student Thomas Clatterbuck, who leads or is trailing now Joshua Lloyd 58 to 42%. Illinois voters also weighed in on the presidential race, even though President Joe Biden and former President Trump already secured enough delegates to secure their party's nominations.
President Biden easily won the Democratic primary. It is a state he carried with 57% of the vote in the 2020 general election.
In the Republican primary, former President Donald Trump also a winner tonight. Remember, he also won Illinois GOP primaries in 2016 and 2020.
And the results tonight set up the November ballot and give us an idea of what voters are thinking.
Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here to break down the big races and the voter turnout. Mark?
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, the voter turnout was just terrible this year. Let's give you a quick idea. We're going to look at this map in the 12th Congressional District to give you an idea. You might remember this if you were watching our newscast at 5 o'clock tonight. Let's take, for example, St. Clair County. Okay, this is the most populous county in the whole district. We saw only 6,000 votes. Okay, remember that number, 6,000 votes. We're going to back out of this now. We're going to go take a look at the primary just 8 years ago in the presidential race. Okay, so we're going to go back 8 years in time, and we're going to look at that same county. How many votes did we have? Just 8 years ago, we had 28,000 votes. That's the difference that a presidential race on the ballot makes in a big area. So what did that mean? Well, that meant the conditions were perfect for Darren Bailey to pull off an upset. If he could drive down turnout or have low turnout in those bigger areas, that would have been great for him. But if you were watching our analysis in the 5 o'clock, I'm telling you tonight, this was going to be the dividing line. We told you that. And there you see the Bailey home turf. He carried it real strong there. We're going to change it to the heat map here. Let me take this color off real quick. Look at the heat map, especially in Clay County. Louisville, that's where he's from. He carried it real strong there, but Mike Bost and Murfreesboro just had a lot more voters in this area. So even with the low turnout, Mike Bost just defended his home turf, and you see that result. Now, the AP has not called this race. Mike Bost calls himself the winner. Darren Bailey has conceded. And when you look at the last remaining counties still out here on the map, these are some of the smallest counties in Illinois with some of the fewest votes out there. So when you just look at it, trailing by 5,200 votes, there just aren't enough votes left out there for Darren Bailey to mount a comeback. So we expect the Associated Press could make this official and finally call the race. We're waiting for that final word, but when you look at the math and you look at the map, there's just no way Darren Bailey's campaign conceding. The last thing I'll point out is this: all the Metro East area, this is territory Darren Bailey could have competed for if he came and tried to fight here, if he showed up on TV, if he gave interviews. He didn't. In effect, he surrendered some of the territory that Mike Bost just cleaned his clock. And that's really the deciding difference in this big race.
And all of tonight's results are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. They're also available at kstk.com/elections. You can also text the word results to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you a link.
Just hours ago, the Hazelwood School District, or school board, held its first public meeting since a brutal fight that has left a Hazelwood East student fighting for her life and another facing charges. Board members did not discuss the matter and no public comments were heard. Viral video captured the off-campus fight on March 8th. It shows a girl bashing 16-year-old Kaylee Gaines' head into the pavement. Her family says she suffered a fractured skull that resulted in brain bleeding and swelling. She is still in a coma. A 15-year-old girl is being held in juvenile custody on assault charges. A hearing could determine whether she will be charged as an adult.
Tonight, we're hearing from the mother of a 14-year-old boy stabbed to death near his school in Jennings. Earlier this evening, loved ones gathered for a balloon release in memory of Justin Brooks. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon sat down with Brooks's mother just before tonight's vigil. Brent.
Hey there, Mike. As police continue their search for a killer, 1 week later, the teenager's mother is finding strength through her community. She credits her son's school, neighbors, and family for helping her get through.
I keep wanting to wake up and say that this is just a horrible dream.
If she could change her reality, Monica Green wouldn't be sitting down with me today.
He didn't live his his life.
Her son, 14-year-old Justin Brooks, stabbed to death last Tuesday on Horde Street in Jennings. She says he was on his way to football practice for Jennings Junior High. 1 week later, a crowd of friends and neighbors returned to the scene to remember him. There's a makeshift memorial where the teenager lost his life. She says she doesn't know why anyone would have wanted to harm him. Police have not released a motive or any updates on leads.
He didn't deserve this. Like, he was a good kid.
The teen loved sports. Here he is playing basketball for his school. Mom says he was also a scholar who was recently considering joining a robotics team.
He's really smart in math and science. He's just really, really smart. But he always did what I asked him. He always, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. He's just very respectful.
At Tuesday's vigil, a sea of black, red, and white balloons reflecting his school colors. Green is comforted by the memories she won't forget.
But as soon as I unlocked that door, he's like, Mom, where you going? Like, I'm going to work. Where do you think I'm going? He's like, okay, be safe. I love you. Like, I'm going to miss it. Every time you ask for a kiss, he's like, I want a kiss. I want a kiss. But he really loves him. I want justice for him. I want justice for him because he didn't deserve this.
Brooks leaves behind 8 brothers and sisters. As the family plans his funeral, an online fundraiser is helping cover the expenses. He did not have life insurance. You can find that fundraiser right now on KSDK.com.